What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. This is my free 5-step resale plan to build an online side hustle. Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Amazon. All of it breaks down to the same system, and I'm going to share it with you guys. This is based on every single self-help book ever, every single goal planning book, all has these same steps. So I want to outline it for you guys for free right now, go over my own personal process, and I am going to change my mastermind group this month to try something out. So I am going to have this accountability document set up to track everything so that you guys actually reach your goals. Most of reselling is the same. It is just a series of steps that you do to set up to create a business. And I'm going to go over those steps right now, and you guys should put in the chat, let me know which of these steps you are on, which ones you need help with. And I'm going to do this call every day, ideally with a person interview style, so you guys can watch us go through these steps. And that is the best way, in my opinion, to learn from reselling, is to learn what people are actually doing, and then you go do it. And if you want to join this, it's a patreon.com/dailyrefinement. It's $12 a month to join the accountability group. You put in your own goals, you put in your action plan, and then knock it out. And you don't want to be the person on this group that doesn't do it. So accountability is the main thing here. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing is, how much money do you guys want to make each month? Each week. You need a weekly income goal. This could be $100 a week, $1,000 a week, whatever your income goal is, let me know. My personal reselling income goal is $4,000 a week. And once you set that income goal, this is going to be the cash flow you need to give yourself runway. You need runway basically to work on replenishable goals. What that means is there's two different kinds of products to resell. One is something that's already been sold before. That's finding something at a thrift store, something at your house. You're selling it again. That's resale. The other part of your business, which is more like retail, that's when you're selling something for the very first time. That's a lot more scalable, and it's more of a business, but it takes a lot of time to set up. Wholesale, buying directly from the manufacturer, making your own stuff. These are all examples of retail. Way different, takes a lot more time. You need to have a runway, which means you need to have some breathing room while you're working on that. So you need a cash flow. So you need two goals. First goal is, how much money do you want to make each week? Secondly, we want to talk about replenishable goals. So the classic goal is 10 by 10 by 10, which is 10 items to sell 10 times a day for $10 profit. That's $1,000 income per day. This is a lifetime goal. That means you only manage 10 products. You probably need an exclusive relationship. So the easiest way to make an exclusive relationship is you make the product yourself. Obviously, you are the only person that can sell it. Next best would be directly with the manufacturer. And then finally, buying wholesale is probably the third version of this, where you have an authorized account and you can sell with that product, and it's legit. You are a legit distributor of that product. It's not gray market, as in a sense that you're getting it from a middleman. You're getting it directly from the person who's authorized to sell the product. Okay, so you need a replenishable goal if you want to stop working at reselling forever, meaning you're doing it as a job, just trading your time for money. That makes it really hard, okay? Because if you take a break, your business takes a break. So you need to do both. You need to work on replenishables while you build your cash flow income. So for me, personal goal, $4,000 a week. Once you figure that out, okay, figure out what your average sale price is. For me, it's around $50 or $60, $20 profit on average. I need 200 of those per week to reach my goal. Okay, so once you have that income goal and you know how many items per week, let me know in the chat right now how much money you guys are trying to do, and can you break it down like that? After you figure that out, you're going to actually build a schedule so that you can knock out this stuff. Having a goal is one thing. It's important, but not as important as actually setting up your action plan. So for me, Monday through Friday, I need to list 40 items. That's what does this. So when you guys use this document, sign up, put your how many items you want to do each day, and then fill it in as you go per week to see if it equals your goal. If you accomplish this over and over and over again, eventually your income will equal whatever your average week looks like. So take a hint from David Goggins. He says, in order to succeed, you need to perform at your best when you're feeling the least motivated. So it's very straightforward. No matter what, no matter how you're feeling, knock out this schedule so that you can reach your goal. I'm going to back up one step to the genres. This is really important. You really don't want to pick more than 3 categories. For me personally, just one category of shoes is my main hustle. The 200 items going up each week are all shoes. Now, for fun, on top of that, I'm going to add in Americana if I find it, because I like selling that. And I also like selling... actually, that's it. I'm just picking 2 goals. Right now, Americana is cool stuff that I find that I want to resell, that I find enjoyment in. And the other one, my bread and butter, is shoes. Once you pick the genre, then you guys can actually figure out the suppliers relatively easy. The problem is when you have a million categories, you never focus down. You never figure out how to get those items at a discount. So I'm now making my Discord group free. So I'm not charging for that anymore. There's going to be people who suck that enter, because when you make a group free, you get a lot of people who are not quality people. That's fine. And by poor quality people, I don't mean beginners. I mean people who are always negative, people that always bring people down, people who are Debbie Downers, people who don't work. So I'm just going to give people admin access, and you guys can self-police. If somebody's being annoying, you can just remove them from the group. I want it to be positive, and I want to be going over different ideas and best practices in there when it comes to the different types of reselling, which is product research, sourcing, bookkeeping, accounting, photography, listing, shipping, maintenance. Item maintenance is really, really, really important, guys. That means when you set up your listings, you actually want to go over them and adjust them accordingly, according to the market. Shazad was on our call last night, and he is saying that he adjusts 30 listings per day. I know resellers who never adjust their listings, and he adjusts 30 a day. So imagine how tight and how on point his listings are, because he has that maintenance already there. So if you guys want to join the Discord group, it's now free. bit.ly/Daily Refinement Discord. bit.ly /Daily Refinement Discord. Somebody go ahead and put that in the chat if you want. That is now free forever. I'm not going to charge for that. Most information should be free. I do have a course on this. If you want to follow it, it's $35 with code YouTube. But this basic stuff is like the least interesting to me. You need to understand the business, which is step 2, before you even try to do reselling. You need to understand all the different steps that are involved with it. Number 3, once you pick your specific categories, then suppliers, you'll start to understand where to get the supply. Step 4, you make your schedule. Step 5, now you want to identify your 1 to 4 actions to track. Okay, this is very important. You need to have 4 things that you can actually see if you're making progress towards it that helps you reach your overarching goal. So I'm going to give you guys an example on mine. If you guys are watching right now, please smash the like button to help other people who have the same goal find this channel, which is to build a side hustle. Okay. This is relatively straightforward. For me, obviously, having 200 items a week, the main key is having those 200 items come into me, right? I want to do 100% inbound, meaning I'll tell you my supplier, it's actually eBay. So right now I am filtering through eBay for the specific shoes that I am looking for. Most of the MSRPs are the sale prices are over $100, but that's the amount that I need, the spread that I need to actually make a $20 profit on each pair. So right now, in order to get all those shoes coming in from online, I have to focus on hiring a VA to help me do product research and hiring a VA to help me do purchasing. I want you guys to ask yourself this question, which is really key. The question is, what does this look like if it's easy? What does this look like if it's easy? For me, if this was easy, that would mean when I wake up, my VA is already presenting to me 100 options that match my $20 profit threshold. I go through, I decide which ones I want to buy. I buy it, they all come in. All the inventory is already set up, meaning they can see the amount leaving my PayPal account, paying for it, or whichever payment account I use to set it up. They can see that transaction. They're doing all the bookkeeping, all the accounting. When the item arrives, what I have to do is have a local full-time lister, and that person is going to have to do the set of steps that I went over with you guys earlier, I'm calling it reseller certification. Are you reseller certified? Let me know in the chat if you feel like you are certified or if you still need help. Certification would mean, do you know how to find stuff to sell? Do you know how to keep track of it? Do you know how to take pictures of it? Do you know how to list? Do you know how to ship? Do you know how to adjust your listings so that they sell faster? You should never have the question of, I don't know what's wrong with my store. That you're not certified if you don't know what's wrong with your store. I think you should have an idea, right? And if you only sell on one platform, I don't consider you certified either, because it's way too risky to put all your eggs in one basket, especially with eBay. It's too wonky and buggy to put all your eggs in that basket. You've got to do multiple things. Okay, so for me, I need 200 inbound things. The number one component of that is actually updating my buy list. Okay, so my buy list are the keys or the SKUs that I really want to focus on. Then the virtual assistant will know specifically what to look for, how to identify if it's a good opportunity or not, and put it in there. Now, here's another thing. I'm not 100% confident that my virtual assistant is going to be able to find 200 items per week. So I'm not going to risk only online sourcing. I'm also going to have a local sourcer. James, my photographer, is always doing local thrifting to help me reach this threshold locally, which is also an easier way to save on cost. One, it's right here. We have cash on hand. We can buy it, which usually gets you a better deal. There's no shipping, so it's less difficult for the person to get it to you. We don't have to pay as much per item. For example, if I buy something for 10 and sell it for 40, I'm going to meet that threshold if it's a first class shoe. If it's not, paying 20 for something that's 50 is a little more reasonable. If you're online, because of the cost of shipping, because of the cost of sales tax, the ASP and the average sale price, and the cost of goods sold, the cost of the item moves way up because you've got to compensate for that. Nobody's going to sell a $50 shoe for $20, including shipping online, because they would lose money on that transaction. It's going to be more like a $200 shoe that somebody has listed for $110. That's going to be the type of opportunity if you move to 100% online and the items that you're selling are heavier. So items come in, the local person is going to prep them, list them, put them away. I already have that set up at my storage unit. My lister and my sourcer have the code to the unit, and I have my own power in there, and I have my own security system. So that's pretty cool. It's actually closed caption, or I think closed circuit, is that the term, where basically it records everything that's going on in there. So I'm not really worried, because not only do I have business insurance, but I also have a person who lives on site at the unit. So, and every single locker in that facility is a commercial one. They're not residential people. So in that area, it's a little bit more security. It's very quiet. So anyway, I'm relatively comfortable with the security of my location. So items, I'm focusing on making sure my buy list is A1 on point. And I have virtual assistants looking for supply, local people looking for supply, and one local person helping me. These are sort of the four things that are going to help me get to the next level. I am going to interview everybody that I know that's a reseller and go over this exact process instead of doing mastermind calls next month. I want to get exact implementable things for you. So as an example, Joe and Jessica from the Family Flips, they're in my mastermind calls now, and this morning was a perfect example of what was going on. So I asked them, what is your specific goal for reselling? And they said at least $3,000 per week. They are awesome family. They have a nanny helping out at home. They do homeschooling. They sell iPhones, tablets, GPSs, and I think that's it. iPhones, tablets, and GPS systems. I think there's maybe one more category, but they focus on 3 niches, and they have a virtual assistant named Wally. They have a lady named Whitney who's listing 150 items from start to finish. And Joe and his wife, Jessica, their goal is to list the other 150 items. So for them to reach their goal, it's basically 300 items at $13 profit or more. They're trying to bump up their profit from $13 an item to $15 per item. They source 100% online, and they already have those The supply is already set. They already have the relationships with the people who are supplying those items. Now it's just a matter of logistics. Are they going to be able to actually list these items? So this is great. They're most of the way there. They know how much money they want to make. They know what they're selling. They know they have people in place to help them. So the barriers were before, when I first met them, they didn't have people helping them with childcare. It was just too much going on too fast, and they're filming for a TV show. That's a lot going on. So they put the pieces in place: virtual assistant, local employee, nanny, to free up some time to actually get it accomplished. Now we are at the point where we need to talk about their actual schedule. How are they going to actually fit all this information, all this work into their work day? How do they get the 300 listings done in a week? How? What is the schedule actually look like? What does it look like throughout their day? I'm going to give you guys an example. In this spreadsheet is my schedule. To give you guys an idea of what this looks like, I'm going to swim in the morning. I'm going to go over my goals. I'm going to do this call right now with somebody new every single day, and to get their exact process, stream it live on YouTube. Then I'm going to go to work, list 40 items, come back, work on replenishable items until 5 p.m. I'm going to hop back on, do the same exact call again with somebody else. At that time, I'm going to turn it off for the day, maybe go to the gym. We're doing all meal planning right now, which is amazing. Guys, not thinking about food has opened up like 1 or 2 hours extra time for me every day, which is probably the biggest time saver, is just not thinking about food at all. And I also get really tired of eating the same thing all the time. So we were rotating around 30 different things that we cook together. And that's just really helping me out on a lot of different levels. It's healthier. It's way cheaper. I think we're paying only $2 to $3 per meal for fresh vegetables and organic every single meal. It's really, really, really cheap. It's way cheaper than eating out, even for one person. So for me, this might be the case for some people. Actually, living with my wife now is cheaper. The grocery bill and eating out bill is less than just by myself, because cooking is a lot more affordable once you have a little bit of a routine. Okay. That's it, Monday through Friday. That's my schedule for getting 200 items in my store. Plus, I'm giving myself 20 hours a week to research replenishables. Replenishables for me are items that I can order directly from the manufacturer. I can do wholesale with a legit agreement, or I can make them myself. That's it. Wholesale, agreement from a distributor, or make them myself. Those are the 3 types of replenishables. There are a few more, but that's like most of them. You need to give yourself actual time to do this. So I recommend in 20 hours, get as much work as you can do. I feel like reselling as a job is very taxing. Okay, if you were to ask any reseller who's done this for any amount of time and say, can you list for more than 4 hours? Usually the answer is no. And if it is, they're not doing that every single day. That's madness. They actually break it up. You'll see resellers do 2 days sourcing, 3 days listing, right? And then they'll ship every single day. Everyone has their own system, their own hacks. Inside here, I'm going to put keys to success. And all the good ideas that I get from YouTube, all the good ideas that I get from the people that I interview, I'm going to put them all in here just to make it easier for people to just get the best tips and nuggets from this. Right now, I really think there are two tips that I like more than any other tips from the last few weeks talking on my call. The first one is batch like a minimum amount of items that you want to do. So for example, for me, the minimum number of items that I'm going to tackle that are all the same is 10. So 10 shoes at the same time, 10 dress shoes, 10 sneakers, all in a row, because that momentum is really good. Going to put my phone on airplane mode, knock out the 10 listings minimum, take a short break, get back into it. I need to do that 4 times with my crew to knock out 40 listings in the morning. That's one of my favorite tips. So Stephanie in my group has a cafeteria tray. She puts that 5 items on it. She knocks out 5 items. She's a busy mom. She has a million other things that she needs to do, but she gets those 5 items done. She's trying to get in a routine where she does that twice a day. There's her 70 listings for the week, and that equals her income goal. So these are the little tips that I really want you guys to focus on. The first one being work in batches of similar items. Do not put 5 totally different items on that tray to go list, because you're going to be mentally exhausted at the end of that. So Another one of my sayings that I really like is that there's a 20-minute penalty each time you switch tasks. And this is going to build up. So let's say, for example, you list a GPS system, a cell phone, and a tablet back to back to back. The nuance switching that you have to do in your brain to make sure that these items are on par is very tiring. So even if you do it quickly, the rest of the day, you're not going to be very productive because you've already used all your brain juice. You want to just separate it like Joe and Jessica have, and either have different people doing the same thing or knock out similar items at the same time. That's really going to help you stay on track, not get unfocused, and not basically burn out. Okay. The next favorite tip that I have, and something that I've noticed, is that a lot of younger people are starting to really crush it in reselling. I'm talking like age 14 to 25. Younger people, fresh out of college, or they're still living at home. And the reason why they're doing so much better than other people is they have more runway. Meaning they don't have as much overhead financially, don't have as much overhead mentally, no kids yet, no wife, no ex-wife, no crazy amount of bills, no student loans yet maybe. So they can think about replenishables earlier, because replenishables take a while. Trying to develop a product that can be sold over and over again takes time. And they can live at home and they're not so worried about running around trying to make money to pay bills. They actually progress much faster than people who are just doing it an hour a day or 2 hours a day. They could literally do it 16 hours a day at home, and their overhead for the month is like $500, and they're earning $500 a month in reselling is relatively easy, relatively simple, right? So they have a lot of extra time to work on it. So my number one recommendation is keep your mental and financial obligations as small as possible. Okay, so lower your overhead. If you like, as an example with me, I have no car payment. I have no car cost at all because I have a rental car that covers the cost of my commuter car. And it makes even enough money to pay for my wife's transportation on public transportation. So we have zero transportation zero transportation overhead. So that money can go into savings, it can go into investment, but we're keeping our overhead super low, and it's giving us a lot more options. You don't have to work crazy hard. And I'll ask you guys this, I'll challenge you. When you meet people that are truly wealthy, which is the whole point of my channel, I want people to build abundance through reselling as an additional income. These people who are super rich and wealthy, they're usually not in a hurry. They're not running around. They're not hustling on the side. Maybe like in the first couple of years of their life to get like their initial rental property or their initial business going. But I don't see really that approach. They really do take their time, really understand, are they building something scalable or are they just building a job for themselves? That's really important. Okay, I'm going to go through here and look at the chat for a moment. Let me know in the chat if you're having any difficulty following this. Setting 1 or 2 goals, let me know in the chat right now how much money you want to make each week. Do you know the business? Do you understand buying, processing, how to find out if it's going to sell or not, how to determine how long it's going to take to sell, shipping, photography, listing, multiple platforms, bookkeeping, accounting? Do you understand the business? That's step 2. Step 3, do you have some genres that you're interested in? Is it going to be used clothing? You'll see here in my group already, it's pretty fantastic. You see, we have Frank focusing 100% on video games. We have Daniel and Brooks focusing 100% on e-waste and recyclables. Myself doing shoes. Stephanie's doing estate jewelry. We have Johnny, who's doing rare hype beast items and also some custom bundles. So it's really cool looking at how pretty much everyone in the group is selling something different. We have Matthew selling literally pants. His goal is to earn $200,000 a year just selling men's pants. That's amazing, right? But you would only be able to get to that point if you really focus down to just one genre and you get really, really good at it. So let's look in here and see if there's people who have questions. Josh is saying SOPs. Yes, you need a standard operating procedure for every single part of your business. That's step 2. It's going to take a while to do that. Learning the business is, you can't really do that by listening to something. You've got to go do it and then write down how you're doing it. Let's see. Kim says she enjoys my videos. Thank you for watching. Gritty Savage says, they made $700 in 2 weeks. Amazing. Now, what I want to do is whatever you want to make each week needs to be your average week. Please take a second and write that down. Whatever you want to make per week, your income goal, that needs to be your average week of productivity. That's straightforward. Simple math. If you normally sell 100 items a week and normally list 100 items a week, if you're making $10 per item, that's $1,000 per week. Now, the thing is, most people don't do that. One week they list 20 items, the next week they list 200 items, the next week they take off and they go on vacation. They're not having this steady flow. That's why I said if you don't have staff, when you take a break, your business takes a break. I don't want that to happen for everyone in here. I want people to diversify. Half your time focus on your job, half your time focus on something that makes you money while you sleep. I think Warren Buffett said something similar to this, which is figure out how to make money while you sleep, or you will work until you die. And that's probably not what he said, but it's along those lines. Greedy Savage is saying a lot of days you get overwhelmed without a schedule. 100%. The scheduling part is what I have set up. So this is my offer. I'm now having this Patreon group that's $12 a month if you want to join this sheet for accountability. I'm going to do 120 or it's like $110 or something for a 45-minute coaching call. And I will do this with you. If you don't know how to do this, go to patreon.com and sign up for the 45-minute coaching call. And I'll do this with you over the phone. After that, you get the rest of the year is free. You can just stay in this group for a whole year and just do it. We'll make a plan in 45 minutes, then just execute on that for the rest of the year. I really don't want to brainstorm how to do this anymore because I already know how to do it. Everyone just needs to do it. This is the plan. Every single resale thing is the same. You guys can see this, right? Smash the like button if you can see the instructions on here. But it's basically the 5-step resale plan for success. Let's see. Kevin is saying, do the same thing with your outfits and it will change your life. Dude, Kevin, you are the man. Right now, for the month of November, I already have my wardrobe set up. I'm psyched about that. There are these pants I really like that I just bought 4 pair of, and there's shirts I really like that I bought 8 pair of. So I'm just going to wear essentially the same thing all of November because I'm really, really focused. I have to shout out my friend Prince Patel and thank him because he's hung out with me a few times in person, probably 4 or 5 times. And he's like, Chris, you've never really gone hard at anything. And that's true. I don't have that buzz. I never find something that I really want to go hard at. But next month, I'm actually going to go hard on my resale business. That's one of the reasons why I'm turning off my mastermind call for November. I just want to focus on growing my business to the point where I have these 4 pieces in place. I want the local person listing and sourcing. Actually, I want a few people sourcing for me locally. I want a few VAs doing product research online. That's it. I want to knock out my 40 listings in the morning, starting tomorrow for the rest of the month. My personal goal is to list $16,000 profit next month and go super duper hard. And I want to interview as many people as I can with this exact system and ask them how they're doing it. I want to go to Jim in the chat and say, Jim, let's do all this stuff together. Tell me, how much money do you want to make? Do you understand what you're doing? What are you selling? What's your schedule? And what are 4 actions that we want to track to get you there? Also, give me your top keys to success so we can share that with the group. Let's see here. Dylan says, 2K a week clear profit would make me extremely happy. You wouldn't know what to do with yourself. Trust me, once you get the $2,000 a week, you're going to want $3,000 a week usually. I just recommend you keep your overhead the same. My overhead right now is $1,750 a person for my wife and I. That includes the mortgage. So $1,750 a month for Bay Area living is very cheap. That's including food. That's including 8 weeks a year of travel. So we're really, really, really frugal in most things, and some things we spend up. But as an example, we chose not to go on a honeymoon after we got married because right now we're going to try to make as much money as possible. The one exception was going to New York last weekend to visit her friend. But for the most part, we're not going anywhere for Q4. We're just working. Boom. Boog says that his his genres are toys and military gear. Nate is saying copy makers. Don, the auction professor, last night was saying that he knows somebody who makes a full-time living just selling the parts from bread makers. That's awesome. Super awesome. Joanna is saying she likes my honesty on things. I'm just being straight with you guys. This is how it works. It's not more complicated than this. If you buy $1,000 course, it's the exact same information as this. That's why I lowered my cost to $35 on my course, because I don't want people to think they need to drop a huge amount of money to do this. In fact, I'd rather you just save your $35 and buy some inventory. But the thing is, you still need to learn how to do it. That's going to take some time. Jim says his strength is being a cheapskate, mostly games, movies, and electronics. I'm not a fan of people who are cheap, because I think it's kind of a crappy way to live life. No one really wants to be around you. If you're the type of person that pinches every single penny, you're going to live a life that's mostly alone. If you like that, that's great. But I mean, I would rather you earn more money than you need so you can be generous. I don't like right now, I have the ability to be generous with my time. If I was strapped and trying to save every penny, I would not do any of that. I would only do things that make me money. And that's not in my opinion, I'm way happier having extra to give than being super cheap. I think that's not a good way to look at it. I mean, you're going to have to try to just make more so you don't have to be cheap, in my opinion. Of course, I understand saving money, but like only sourcing yard sales and garage sales, you're undervaluing your time. If you think you're only worth $20 to $50 an hour, then sure, use your time driving around to do that. But you want to learn how to set up a system that's worth hundreds or thousands of dollars an hour, right? If you're earning $500,000 a year, would you still only source at yard sales or thrift stores, or would you think a little bit bigger? Would you create a company that can actually support some people? That, in my opinion, is the most amazing, what is that called? Philanthropic thing you can do is build a business big enough that it supports other people. That's really powerful. Building a business that just supports you, like those kind of people I don't care about. If you only want to do a business just because of your personal selfish reasons, I hope you fail. I know that's like kind of rude, but that's not there's 7 billion people. You don't want to help anybody else. You only want to help yourself. That's crazy. Like at least, I don't know. I just have this like visceral reaction to people who never spend any money. Like I never want to hang out with those people. I've gone to some financially independent retirement early things, and it's like 13 people get together. No one buys anything for the group. You just sit around, talk about how to save money. And I'm like, we could have just stayed home and not spent the money to transport ourselves here. Why are we here? Like if it elevates the group experience to eat something together. It doesn't even cost that much money. What's the point of being rich if you can't spend $4 on lunch together? At least like do a picnic where we all bring our own food. I just can't. I can't with the people who never spend any money. You need this type of content for Amazon sellers. Willie, I think it's the same. It's the same information for Amazon sellers. I've been talking to Larry, Watch Me Amazon, quite a bit. And this is essentially the same thing, except for he has a system on the wholesale part for contacting distributors. That's it. That's the main difference between a $2,000 course and what I just presented to you here for free, is that he just gives you a little bit more information on contacting suppliers. And he told me straight up, you still have to do the work. The course doesn't do any of the work for you. You still have to contact suppliers. Hold on a second. Okay. You need to replace your income from losing your job. That's a tough one, Joanne. I wouldn't say that you should resell to replace your income from your job. That's a little bit scary. I would try to get a different side hustle, at least a part-time job, and try to live on that while you reinvest your resale income. Sorry for the outside noise. Ali is saying she's a step 2. Awesome. Willie's saying that right now he wants to make $500 in profit a week. Sorry for the weed whacking outside. I might call it a call in just a few minutes. Let's see here. Really wants to make $500 of profit a week. So you send in $500 of profit into Amazon. Amazing. Actually, hold on one second, guys. This is super loud. Actually, how loud is the weed whacker outside? It's really, really, really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Arlen is listening while listing. Awesome. Deals on wheels. You are unique mobile resellers like Craigslist Hunter, but on wheels. 150,000 miles per year, sourcing 250 thrift stores per year. Wow, that's super dope. So Deals on Wheels has a system where they go out and they drive 150,000 miles sourcing. Good for you. I tried that when I first was doing Facebook marketing. When I quit my job in 2014, I thought it would be a really good idea to drive to every single car dealership in California and ask them to let me represent them social media wise. I think I got 30 or 40 clients, and it was really hard to keep people to keep paying for social media marketing. What happens is it's really hard to quantify how much money you're making from a Facebook post. So over time they would cancel, and that was really hard to build that business up. But I admire people that are doing that. Hopefully that hustle, that groundwork of meeting all these 250 thrift stores allows you to build some relationships so that you don't have to drive at all. When I look at driving, I feel like it's very inefficient compared to what you can do on the phone. Nate is, wait, are you 16 in Vegas? That's amazing. Where do you sign up for the, wait, hold on a second. Wow, sorry, I missed some questions. Dylan can relate on a higher cost of living in Oahu. It's expensive everywhere. That's why I think you should make your overhead as low as possible. How much do you need to list to make a certain amount per week? Great question, Christina. The amount that you need to make each week is the amount that you need to list. That it's literally, you answered your own question in your saying. So if you want to make $1,000 per week, you've got to list at least $1,000 per week, and you have to have an inventory that yields that as well. I would say if your sell-through rate is 12 weeks, meaning it takes 12 weeks for something to sell all the way through, then you need to do it for 12 weeks in a row to achieve that. Lindy, what's up? Lindy is awesome. So I'm going to try to call Lindy and make her do this with me. Oh, not make her, but ask her if she'll do this with me, because Lindy is a really good example of a mom that's balancing being an influencer. She has a YouTube channel. She resells. She takes care of her kids. I believe one of her kids also has special needs, which takes up even more time. She's also making her own. She also is gaining some brand deals. I'm looking at Lindy. She's really trying to do everything, right? Very difficult. So I'm curious what her resale plan is. What are her goals? Obviously, she's working on YouTube, and YouTube is one of those things where if you do a good job, each week your influence is larger than the previous week. So it's kind of like a business that can scale. Because you're making the same content each week, but each week, if you do a good job, more people listen. So there's a larger potential ad revenue that way. Lindy already knows how to resell, so she knows all the different pieces of it. Does she have a genre? I don't know, because I saw her picking up some pallets. She's really good at doing retail arbitrage at the grocery store or however ways to make money. I don't know if she has 3 genres lined up, but I'd be curious. Her schedule, I imagine, is very tight. I would be very surprised if Lindy just wakes up and doesn't know what she needs to do that day. I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty sure she knows when she's going on YouTube Live, when she's doing reselling, how she's balancing it all. Also, trying to figure out brand deals is really hard, and that takes a lot of time. So setting that up is challenging because you've got to make sure that it matches your audience. Her 4 actions to track, if I was coaching Lindy without asking her, I would be like, how much time are you spending in each one of these things that you're working on, specifically reselling? How much time photographing? How much time looking online for pallets if she's doing that? How much time sourcing at the stores? Want to look at her whole schedule. Jim says, you were a CPA for years. What should be your specialty? Unfortunately, when you are a reseller, you have to do everything. So there's going to be 1 or 2 things in the list of things that you need to get done that you're really bad at, and you should fire yourself and hire somebody else to do it. CPAs generally are really good at reselling. Not every CPA, but most of them are, because they understand that net profit is really the key. Like, how much money do you actually make each month? It's not really about revenue. People who come from a sales background, like myself, is sometimes we only care about how much money is coming in. But as a CPA, they're looking at how much money total is left at the end of the day. Let's see. California is moving up to Phoenix in massive quantities. Yes, that's true. A lot of people are moving to Phoenix. I just visited. It's one of the top markets. I went for Posh Fest. I like Phoenix. Phoenix is pretty cool. I am a little bit jealous of the speed of life there. You don't need the hustle that much, because if I moved from, I think here, let's see, my overhead would drop from $3,500 a month. If we bought an equivalent place there, I think it would drop to maybe $3,000 a month. So it would be a little bit less. Since we do most of the cooking, that cuts down like a huge amount of the cost. And we don't have a transportation cost here. If I moved to Phoenix, I'd have to add a car. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's negligible. I would say that I can live in California for as cheap as Phoenix because I don't need a car. Joanne wants to support seniors. If you want to sign up for the call, you can go to patreon.com/dailyrefinement. I will invite you to this document and you can put in your goals. In here, if you want, you can put your contact information to try to contact other sellers for different reasons. I don't necessarily recommend that. People probably will spam you if you put your information in there, but you can ask me directly if you want somebody's information with something. I'd be happy to connect you. Lindy says that she's actually listening and she needed something to listen to. Awesome. Glad to be of service. Arlen works 50 hours a week and do reselling on the side. You're my favorite kind of reseller. Full-time job plus reselling on the side. You don't have much time for sourcing. You haven't found much. You'd like to get into replenishables. Yes. In order to get into replenishables, Arlen, you have to pick one niche and find out who sells it. I know it sounds crazy, but that really is that's it. Once you decide on a genre, let me give you an example. Let's say you picked Nike shoes. There's only like 10 places to get them. Okay, and you would learn that if you just picked the one niche. But if you're just saying, I don't know what to sell, there's millions of products to sell. That's too hard. You'll never be able to figure it out that way. How do you find wholesalers? You pick a niche and then Google and find out where they're distributed. Kevin said he got cocky when he started and tried doing a million things at once. Wow, can I relate to that? I used to be called 10K on the Bay. I wanted to sell everything. Everything that wasn't tied down, I was trying to sell. And there's no point in doing that because you can make however much money you want in one category. There's a 6-figure seller that I met that only sells those compacts for, I'm not sure what the purpose of it is, but there's a mirror in it. I know that is useful, but there's also different compartments for different types of makeup. She makes like $8,000 to $9,000 per month gross selling just that one product. Like that is really, really, really niche. And if you ask her where she gets them, she probably won't tell you. You probably have to do your own research and figure out where they come from. Let's see here. Your objective, don't fail. That's not specific enough. Too bad. I would kick you out of my group if that was the only thing you came up with is don't fail. Come on, Kevin. It's got to be way more specific. Don't fail at what? I want to know what your day-to-day looks like. You love Lindy and Hustle at Home Mom. Yes, two of my favorite people. Actually, I used to say she's my arch nemesis, but she's not. She's actually a good friend. I can, like, right now, I feel like if I really was having some kind of a mental breakdown, I could call Lindy and be like, hey, fix me. Like, if I was at that point where I'm like, talk me off the ledge of being a reseller online or whatever, she would be able to relate to me. So you need to find people around you that can actually help you. Sometimes I'll text Ashley, like, I feel like I'm dying or something, and then she'll text back her situation, which is way harder. And I'll be like, why am I even complaining? I don't even have kids. Let's see. Gwen says, you really like my mindset. Yeah, Maria, what's up? I got your email. You need to figure out a specific topic that you want to resell in. This is important. And I saw on your Instagram that you were walking a bunch of dogs. So in the future, I will not be checking Instagram after today because I already deleted it off my phone. But when I checked your email, it opened up Instagram on my desktop. But I would sell something related to something that you already know. I would probably start with pet products. The pet category is usually not gated on Amazon. So I actually sold a lot of dog food because you have to understand the relationship between the expiration date on Amazon. And that really makes a big difference. How that works is the expiration date, if it's like within 90 days and the pet store tries to sell it really cheap, and then you have like, let's say 60 days on Amazon. So you have like a 30-day window to sell it online. These are the kinds of things that you could figure out. I remember buying dog food for $1 for 50 pounds. That was the closest store to where I lived before was a Petco. So I went down there and I'm like, what do resellers buy? And she said, resellers buy pet shampoo, they buy dog food, they buy dog toys, they buy leashes, they buy those kennels, but the kennels are usually Facebook Marketplace. So like usually the people who work at retail stores, especially managers, already kind of know what resellers do. And the smart resellers the smart managers are looking for ways to move inventory. It would not be unusual, in my opinion, to find a backdoor deal with a major retailer. Sometimes they even just throw this stuff away. Like if you dumpster dive at Target or Petco or whatever, you're gonna find stuff because they just throw stuff away. So it's worth your time to ask around. Let's see. Your housing costs would be cheaper. Oh yeah, there we go. Michelle, you're right. My housing costs would probably be cheaper, but I'd have to pay for a car. But I could have a bigger place. You're right. This is like this 500 square foot condo is like multiple thousand feet in Phoenix. It's a lot. Lindy says niching down is so important. Yeah, I agree. 1 to 3 niches, guys. If you're just tuning in right now, smash the like button, set 1 or 2 goals, learn how to resell, pick 1 to 3 genres, make a schedule. Number 5, identify 1 to 4 actions to track. If you want to sign up for my program, it's $12 a month. Or if you want to pay for the whole year, I'll coach you through this. Then you can stay in the group for free for the whole year and just do it. There's really no secret. People aren't going to be able to hold your hand the whole way. You're going to have to figure it out on your own for the most part and watch YouTube videos. Ron is saying just getting started and the listing process is the hardest part for you. Yes. Okay. Ron is saying that the list up routine is the hardest for him, and I'm actually starting my listing with a Rubik's Cube because like I'm trying to do it within 1 minute. So I'm trying to learn how to do this super fast. So while I'm focusing on that, I do it 5 times using this app. It's really nerdy, but I'm doing this 5 times during an app, and then I'm getting straight into the listing process. I'm actually going to film myself doing this because you don't want to look stupid on film. So I'm filming myself listing every single day in the month of November because I want to see what I look like. I filmed myself doing this Rubik's Cube. I looked so dumb doing it. But anyway, my point is, I agree with that. The momentum is really hard. You kind of need a trigger to get into that momentum. And it's like the most common trigger for people is like a cup of coffee in the morning. They wake up, ding, alarm, straight to the coffee. They're already triggered into that. So I'm going to tie this Rubik's Cube into my listing process. Ida is asking if I've heard of Zik Analytics. Definitely. Zik is really good. I'm actually doing a really bad job of trying to do a brand deal with them. I'm not good at that. Lindy said that she'd send me the voicemail. That's cold. It's cold as ice, Lindy. You're also trying to niche your niche. Yeah, absolutely. So Ron is saying that even Nikes is too big of a category. I agree with that because there are 4 million Nikes for sale online. So my virtual assistant's job is this: find Chris 40 Nikes a day, 5 days a week that have a $50 to $60 spread. That way, when I get it back in here after all fees and whatever, it's going to be at least a $20 profit. Let's see. Ron is saying you're deleting yours today. Yeah, I deleted Instagram on my phone, but it's not. I didn't delete my account. Kelly says that you're stuck at averaging 2 sales per day. Yes, so this is a good point. You're probably averaging listing 2 good items per day. It doesn't really work that way. If you list 10 quality items per day over time, you will have 10 sales per day. That's just how it works. There's nobody who consistently lists 10 items that only sells 2 items. There's something wrong in the way that you're listing. You need to back up to step number 2 and learn the business and look at why your listings are not selling. It doesn't work that way mathematically. The only way the sales would stagnate is if you're listing stuff that's not quality, and if you're not going back there and actually adjusting your listings. Listings do go stale. You can't just do reselling isn't set it and forget it. It's not like that. Listing replenishables is so much rewarding than one-offs. Yeah, I mean, but it's not easy. That's why I recommend you do both. You have to have a one-off store and a replenishables project. I even look at it that way. Replenishables is a project to me because it's not something you can do right away. One-offs is you can do it right now. You can go to Dollar Tree, scan a whole bunch of stuff, go home and list it. That's just a temporary come up though. Even Gary Vee has changed his tune on it. Gary Vee's like, you want to make a quick $5,000? Go hustle your face off, right? I sort of agree with that. The problem is a lot of people want to quit their job when they make that first $5,000. And the thing is your reseller income is variable, it goes up and down. And that will destroy you if you're not ready for that. Doing business without goals is like driving around a foreign city without a map. I agree. I'm giving you guys the map right now. Set 1 or 2 goals. One preferably. My goal, 4K a week. 10 by 10 by 10 replenishables. Work on those. Half the day working on my one-off store, half the day working on my replenishable store. I just removed, for the most part, I removed coaching from my business because I just don't have time to do it anymore. If your pictures and listings are precise and you still get a return, how do you handle that? You just move on. The cost of doing business online, especially now, is like, in my opinion, 5 to 10% shrinkage. 5 to 10% of people will steal from you. If you're not okay with that, get a job because you're more than 99% of the time, if you do a job and they agree to a paycheck, they're going to give you that paycheck as agreed every 2 weeks if you do your job. That's not how it works with reselling. Just because you list $1,000 a week does not mean anyone owes you $1,000 per week. You need to get that job mentality out of your head or go back to a job because entrepreneurship doesn't work like that. Let's see. You need to list 10 items every day. You don't need to do anything. You just pick your goal and then your goal will break down to each individual item and then it'll work that way. You had to delete all of your listings and post new ones. I hope that's not because you became suspended, but I don't know enough about you. Let's see. Linda says, thank you for the awesome information. Appreciate that, Linda. 2 jobs rather than 3 will free up time for you. This is so crazy, Kelly. This is sort of the thing. If you just reduce your lifestyle down to nothing, you don't need the work as much. That sounds so crazy to me because that's the opposite of how I was raised. I was raised, Chris, if you want something, buy it now. That's what financing and credit cards are for. That's how I was raised as an Asian person, which is really odd because traditionally that's like reverse racist. That's like a traditionally an American way to be raised, right? Spend as much as you can, YOLO, right? Just get whatever you want. But that's not how you do it, in my opinion. Now, I think you should keep your runway as long as possible, lower your expenses as much as possible so you have time to think. So you can work 2 jobs instead of 3 jobs and work on a business, building something and putting it together. What's up, Sicily? Yes, if you want to do this with me, just go to patreon.com, sign up for this document right here, and just do it. Or if you don't want to pay the $12 a month, just screenshot this and just do this. Get 1 or 2 goals, learn the business, pick 1 to 3 genres to list in, figure out where those things come from, make your schedule, identify 1 to 4 actions to track. Notice how I mentioned that in the chat and almost 0 people added any of that information into the chat, because most people would rather do nothing than these 5 steps to get success. Your freedom is on the, which side is it? On this side of the screen. Your freedom is right here. Let's see. I love the make money while we sleep idea. This is the Warren Buffett thing. And I like the way I say it better. You need to learn how to make money while you sleep, or you will work until you die. I like that saying because you just really need to do it. What's up, Luciano? Your eBay sales are very slow, so you had to delete your listings. Awesome. Yeah, you may have to do that sometimes. Deepak is smart. Some people don't do what he did and delete the listing and try again. They just let it suck and don't improve it and then complain on Facebook or Instagram. And they complain and other people are like, yeah, that happened to me too. So now you just got rewarded for complaining. That is really bad. Do not get into the habit of that. I would much rather say something and share progress now, okay, in my old age and wisdom. I love to say something like, I had a great day today. And like, in the back of the audience, one person's like, good job, Chris. Instead of saying, man, today was really rough. I wasn't able to do anything. I was distracted all day. And then the whole audience going wild, standing ovation. Like, I don't want that. I just want the pure actual progress. Lindy was saying about talking about cutting our lifestyle down. So here's the thing. That doesn't sound good, right? I'm not going to sell my course telling people that you need to live more frugally. That's like the opposite, because as you guys saw in one of my previous videos, I polled people why they resell. And the number one reason is so they have more money to spend. That's actually the number one reason. They're not trying to curb spending. They're trying to spend more. They want a nicer car, nicer things. They want bling bling. They want to live that lavish lifestyle. That's why people are reselling. But the thing is, it's just harder to build a business when you have all those distractions. Now I know, like, rich people, for the most part, a lot of rich people that I know are insanely generous. I have a friend that tips 200%. Okay, but he doesn't have a nice car. Not because he doesn't like nice cars, because a nice car is a lot of work. You've got to take it in to go maintain it. It's complicated going over the financials of buying something that's like $100,000. But tipping 100%, he's like, this person can really appreciate that. Can you imagine doing that, buying a cup of coffee for $5 and leaving the lady $5? That's not even that expensive, but most people can't do that because they're spending way too much in their other things. So that's why I'm not a fan. I don't actually think rich people are cheap, except with their time, right? If a rich person identifies an opportunity, they're like, okay, how much money? When do I get my money back? Let's do it. If they identify something that's interesting, they're like, get away from me and don't contact me, because interesting does not equal money. Simple equals money. Cicely, yes, you can email me for free. I will try my best to answer you. But honestly, I'm giving you all the advice right now. How much money do you want to make? Figure out how you want to earn that money. Learn how that business works. Make your schedule. Identify 1 to 4 actions to track. I was just looking at, like for example, Joe and Jessica. This is a great example. I think they have 3 kids. 3 kids, resale business, and a TV show, and homeschooling. Like, when I look at that on paper, I'm like, how do you do that? But then I figured out how they do it. They have a nanny that's full-time. So the nanny full-time helps out. I didn't realize that a full-time nanny is still not enough. There's that much stuff to do at home. Because when you look at what the prep work is involved in being a parent, like, I'm not saying, like, I'm not a parent, so I can't judge you. But if you put your kid in front of an iPad while you work versus getting your work done separately and then you hang out with your kid during that time instead of the iPad, that is totally different. That's very hard to actually pull off. I'll tell you, at my wedding, I have to share this story because it's really important. My friend James, he has a kid. He came from Japan to my wedding. His kid is 2 years old. He had never seen ice cream before. Okay, so for some reason they don't have ice cream cones where they live. When the kid got his first ice cream cone, the first thing he did was lick it. He had this crazy look on his face because he's never had ice cream before. Then the first thing he did was try and share it with his parents. I was like, holy crap, how did you create a kid like this? Because he was like, I want to share this with my parents or with whoever. And so like he was getting this crazy look in his face from just like sharing this amazing thing that he found. He had the same exact reaction when he figured out he could eat the cone. Okay, so that was amazing. So raising kids like that, I can tell this kid was not starved for attention. There are other kids at my wedding that were being crazy because they probably are being ignored at home. So I don't know. I'm not a parent. I'm not going to judge. I'm just saying that experience to me kind of blew my mind. I was like, I want to be like them where they equally share time with their kid. That is just so dope. He is an online English instructor and she's an architect. And they alternate. She'll do a project as an architect. He'll stay home with the kid. She'll stay home with the kid. He'll go out and do a project. Man, they're raising a really cool adult. Would you still say Goodwill is the best place for one-off items? It's one of the best places, yes, because you can find items around $30 all the time at Goodwill that sell for $30. More than $30, though, a bit challenging because Goodwills have their own eBay stores. You like living frugal because you resell to make a lump sum to finance your dream. Yeah, I agree with that. Joanne, your 91-year-old dad says he has more money than people my age because he fixes things instead of buying new ones. Yes, that's one way to save extra money. I agree with that. We kind of live in a disposable world, though. Ali says you will get more back than you give. Usually you do. Ron says he doesn't want things, he wants wealth. Man, that's, I can't tell you guys how much better I feel just understanding the skill part of something. Like the number 2 part, learning the business. I have done that so many times that at this point I have just this level of confidence. I would rather have skills than money because with skills you can make money. And that's just how I look at it. Things don't have any inherent value unless you can trade it for something. And you usually can't, like, even if you're trying to impress somebody, you can't trade your object for their likes. It doesn't really work that way because usually the thing that you're trying to get is hard to get. So you've got to spend time earning the money to buy it. Then you have to go figure out how to get it. Like, it's not only one thing to have like a lot of money for a nice sneaker collection. You've also got to spend hundreds of hours finding them. Yeah, see, Kim didn't want to spend the $12, so she just screenshotted it and is making it herself. Very straightforward. Yeah, Ali says there's a lot to be said for peace of mind. 100% agree with that. If you guys are still listening, smash the like button. Let's see. Insert yourself between the donors and Goodwill. Yeah, I agree with that. When you go to Goodwill, they are the middleman, right? I'm sorry, not the middleman. They are a retailer. So they're retailing it for as much as they can get. You need to go to an estate sale or a real estate, clean out, get the items before they go there, start a junk renewal company or junk removal company. All these different ideas come from setting up a business rather than a side hustle. Most of the things that are worth doing, you can't earn money within the first 1 to 8 months. And that's like the most depressing information I can give people. They're like, I have to wait. I can't just have a replenishable. Where do I okay, actually, that's not true. That's not true. Okay. Are you guys ready? You can buy something that already makes money. It just is expensive. I saw this company, amazing. Okay. You decide you want a product on Amazon that sells every single day. They do it for you. They go on the Amazon. It takes 2 months. They go on to Amazon, they identify a market. Let's say it's audio equipment. Look at audio equipment. They do some homework and figure out what's selling really well. Let's say that it's a microphone amplifier. So mic amp, this is the category they pick. They figure out what's selling really well. They either find the distributor for that Or they find a similar product, or they make their own product. Whatever they do, they make it, they put it on Amazon for you, they rank it, then they give you the account, the LLC, and the product to you for the small fee of $20,000. So if you want to do nothing, that actually does exist now. I can't believe it. You can literally buy a replenishable product done for you. It just costs 20 grand. Amazing. Johnny says Shop Goodwill is amazing. I agree. Shop Goodwill online is the same thing as thrifting, but you're doing it at home. Baron says skills help you to overcome obstacles. I agree. Cicely says is 75 cents expensive for listing on eBay? I pay $3 per listing. So to me, no. Would you go to eBay headquarters? Are they suspended my account permanently? Definitely not. One, I'm not really doing anything that they would suspend my account permanently. I'm not the number one reason that people get suspended besides fraud is when the brand restricts you. And it's very hard to get to that point. Most of the time people get suspended, they know why. So on eBay specifically, there's not really like a huge concern for being suspended. And I wouldn't go there because who would you even talk to? There's like 12,000 people that work there. That's why I invested so much time into building up a rapport with eBay. In case something happens to my account, I have somebody to call. So I'm going to stream live every day, probably with someone. So Lindy, shout out to Lindy. I'm going to have to reach out to her and do this scenario. So I'm going to have to prep her so she sounds like a rock star. But I want to do this exercise with people. And because here's the thing. I have a mastermind call. It's been going for 2 years, Lindy. And the thing is, it's kind of dry. And the thing that's the most useful for people is sharing actual experience, not just hypothetical stuff. So I would love to share your experience. I'd love to talk to Zik Analytics about their software. I'd love to talk about people about how they're actually doing this. That's the main focus. This is your first year of reselling. You consider it like your tuition. That's a good way to look at it. In fact, Prince also gave some really unpopular advice, which was the first 4 or 5 replenishables you make, try to just break even as your goal. Most people are like, hell no, I would never start something just to break even. But now he makes $100,000 a month and you make 0, right? So he put in that work for 4 or 5 years and figured out how to do it. And so this is how important it is to learn how to do replenishables. Prince was suspended on eBay. Most of you know that for doing, for a brand restriction. The brand did not like that type of volume. He was able to get his account back, but he can't sell in that category. I don't know if you guys know that. Prince is a really good friend of mine. He took that same knowledge, did the exact same thing on Newegg, the platform, right? Did the same exact thing on Amazon. So once you do it one time, you kind of understand how to do it. And if he loses it, he was talking to me about maybe learning about CBD oil projects. He was learning about roses. Roses are a really good industry. So he would do the same exact thing now in a different category. And that's really powerful to me. Oh, here we go. This is a good... Zik is asking if I bold and subtitle my listings. I do if it's replenishable, but I don't if I only have one of them. Deepak pays 35 cents per listing. Yes, the listing fee is really garbage. eBay needs to get rid of listing fees. They need to get rid of promoted listings. They need to go back to providing a quality experience for the customer and not just gouging the sellers. Jeffrey says, my videos have inspired him to resell enough to max out your 401k at work. That is a beautiful thing, sir. That is my favorite type of reseller, someone that's just doing it part-time to earn extra money to invest. This is the ultimate goal. I'm not able to provide it for everyone, but if you can keep your regular day job, live on that income, save $1,500 a week reselling, that's not easy. Never said it was easy. Save $1,500 a week, put it into an investment that earns 6%. That's $1 million net every single 10 years. So that's the basic retire early plan by Daily Refinement. say $1,500 a week. I know there's hate, like I can't even make $1,500 a week. That's true. You probably statistically you can't. But if you really get good at this these steps, you can do it. Would I recommend a business eBay account or stay solo? Great question. With the business eBay account, you can actually sell it to somebody. I know that's frowned upon and people were complaining when I posted that on YouTube, but you can sell your eBay business. Luke, Endless Entrepreneurs, my boy, just did that publicly, and he's fine. The person didn't get suspended because you can do that. The entity just has to stay the same. But actually, it doesn't have any effect on your traffic. So it doesn't matter. If you're looking to do that to gain more sales, it doesn't do anything. So Zick is asking a great question. How do you find wholesalers? It depends on the product. So first you pick a niche and then you reverse engineer where they come from. Most of my best replenishable products, I'll give you guys another secret, come from other eBay sellers. If you go online, you find out somebody has 40 of them, somewhere in that listing, there's the secret to where it came from. How do I track profits when I list in lots? Awesome question. I just do per piece. I average it all out. Ooh, this is the best question ever. What do you do when your wife asks you if you are making money or not? Guys, smash the like button. That's the most important question ever. That is the question that my wife said. If you want to stay married to me, you probably should know how much money you bring in each week. Amazing, amazing concept. So I recommend when you're first starting, clarity over size. I would much rather you have a $1,000 a month in sales company that nets $200 and you fully understand it. That's the most important part. That's step 2. Notice how in here, it doesn't say sell as much stuff as possible without any regard to how much money you're making. That's not on the plan. Okay, the plan is learn the business and understand your exact margin. Stay as small as possible in the beginning. Just really understand your margins. You need to have a spreadsheet. That's in my guide. If you guys want to pick up my guide for $35, it has a profit loss example in there that you can use. You can modify it to work with your own business. Most people take that and then change it to whatever niche they're selling in. Where can you find my email? chris@dailyrefinement.com. I know Jason was saying he wanted to sell his account for $100,000. I think the highest offer I've seen so far is $200 for somebody's eBay store. That's like a pretty decent account with some sales in it. Again, I think your store is worth like a penny per feedback. I don't think it's worth that much because it's not very difficult to create an eBay store. There's 10 million of them. More than that, there's probably 50 million eBay accounts. To start one doesn't require any money. You can just sell stuff around your house and just wait a year. It's not worth that much. Mick hit 500 listings today. Awesome. Sales have slowed. Not awesome. All one-offs, 8,000 in total sales. Does delisting and relisting really work? It does. It's sad to say that delisting and relisting works, but you don't need to do that, especially with replenishables. You just need to adjust it. There's like an urban myth for what percentage of your listing changes the algorithm so it re-ranks again. But the main thing is you do need to do maintenance. That's in my steps. So for you, those of you just listening, here are the steps that are in my course and that you can learn for free online. Product research, how to pick a niche, sourcing. And sourcing can be a route that you drive and look for things like deals on wheels, or it can be a buy list like me of things I look for online. Bookkeeping, how do you keep track of your profit and stay married? Accountant, how do you actually pay taxes? Photography, can you do photography in 2 minutes or less? That's what I think should be happening. Listing under 10 minutes, shipping under 10 minutes. What are you doing for maintenance? Are you doing delisting, relisting? Are you adjusting your prices? Are you donating 1% of your crappy listings each month? And then do you have a good set of friends like Lindy Glenn that you can reach out to if you're having a crisis? That's it. Boog is saving his reselling money for a cruise. Fantastic. We started investing a portion of profits into REIT stocks. That's a great idea. I have just kept my expenses the same, and I love it. I love the simplicity of not changing my lifestyle. Oh, also, you have to have something to look forward to. That's not on the list, but that's required if you want to have good mental health. You can't just grind every day and have no light at the end of the tunnel. You've got to look forward to at least, like for me, my favorite food is spaghetti. If that's on the menu for the week, I'm good. I'm like very easily impressed. I need something to look forward to, but even something as small as spaghetti, which is like $2, suits my fancy. Um, oh, yeah, here we go. Ty's in the chat. LaCroix software, amazing stuff. He's saying that eBay has great wholesale. Ty is making six figures, just flipping from eBay to Amazon. Another fantastic opportunity. So Ty is the man. I visited him in Phoenix. Great dude. Are there any software like Helium on Amazon? TerraPeak and Zik Analytics are tools that people use to scan eBay. Zik Analytics is in the chat. They were in the chat. I know, right? There are some bad words that you can say that get demonetized, but why no warehouse? Great question. So Nick is asking why no warehouse. The reason is because I'm kind of getting away under the radar with a really cheap situation right now by using a storage space with the same rules as light commercial use. So essentially, I don't have to pay the triple net fees. I'm just paying a monthly storage cost and providing my own Wi-Fi. So it's actually a pretty decent deal, and the security on site is unmatched. I love that there's a lady that lives 100 yards from my stuff. So I also have she gave me a really good tip, which was put the code, get a combination lock, and have that be the same as to enter the storage unit. So what happens is somebody comes up, they type in my number, it records that person entering, they drive to my unit, they put in the code, open it up, and they can just work right there. It's kind of like a time clock system for me. Zik wants to join the next mastermind meeting. We'll do a few together. Lindy Glenn, can a video get demonetized for the comments in the viewer chat? I don't think so. It actually automatically blocks it. If somebody says something naughty, it gets removed. Somebody wrote, "You know what you did. Please shout out my name." I just deleted that person. And that actually got blocked from YouTube. I wonder if that's because like they now have algorithms to sense threatening statements. Like, you know what you did doesn't, I actually don't know what I did, but that statement was actually blocked by YouTube automatically. Oh, is this a good product? No, it's not. Unless you like selling stuff for $9.99 shipped. Zik is saying, would I recommend resellers to list new items on a daily basis? Depends. If you're selling a one-off store, then see in my schedule here, I have basically how many items do you need to list per week. It doesn't matter as long as the total amount per week go up. So for example, I'm listing 200 items per week. I have the same exact results listing 54 times a week as 45 times a week or 37 days a week or 201 day. It's not really that different. The main key is a consistent week over week pumping new blood into your system. Every YouTuber would kick you out of the chat as soon as you said, I have been kicked out of chats. There's definitely some resellers who don't like me. Thank God I'm not the only YouTube channel, or that would be, like really sad. Amazon seller says Amazon accounts are worth more because of the brand and category gating. 100% true. Everyone can sell anything on eBay. Sell similar if the listing is older than 6 months, according to Madcap Toys. To each their own. Some people, Prince had a listing that was 7 years old that had never been delisted, relisted. It had like 5,900 units sold. So, then I also have people that used to only do 3, 5, 7-day auctions. LuxSwap on Instagram only does 10-day auctions. There is no one way to do this. The learn the biz part over here, step 2, there is actually no one way to do it. Each individual category, each individual market is different. It's a new algorithm. It's a new algorithm all the time. Yeah, you guys should reach out to Ty. Ty, reach out to Zik. Ty, shoot me an email when you can. I'll connect you guys. They're really good software. They're like, so Ty, they kind of do the same thing you do, but for brand new items. Let's see. What is the battery device I take to my storage? I use a Yeti 400, and it's 400 watts, and you can use it for, I think about 12 hours of everything, like my all computers, the lighting kit, the printer. The printer uses the most power because it's a thermal printing. So like that's I actually had to upgrade from the 100 watt to the 400 watt because it would trip the system. Freaking thermal printer would trip the system. So I have a Yeti 400 providing my own power. I actually can hook it up to a solar panel, which is kind of entertaining to me. I could run a solar panel cord onto the roof of the storage unit. But I would have to be sneaky, which I don't want to be sneaky because it could potentially be a fire hazard. So maybe I won't do that. But I use a Yeti 400. Worth Point is great for validating collectibles. Agreed. Worth Point's awesome. In general, do I recommend to grow the number of listings from week to week? No. I recommend focusing on 10 to 100 listings total in the replenishable new game. And just rotating out the best ones that you can. If you're playing the mass game where you list tons and like more than 100 SKUs of replenishables, you need a lot of money. I haven't seen very many people successfully do that. Either 10 to 100, I guess that's called sniper model, like really know what you're doing, or a larger one-off store. Dang, that's terrible. So Lindy had a Chi hair straightener. Is that how you pronounce it? Chi hair straightener removed for potential counterfeit. You guys know these big companies have law interns that just go on eBay and say everything is counterfeit, and eBay is always going to believe the brand. So just do the best you can. Try not to sell too much of a brand, especially when they're getting started or when they're. It's like just depends on the seasonality. Sometimes people can sell things for a long time, like Coach. Sometimes flies under the radar. I've seen people do $100,000 in sales in Coach before Coach sends them an email. I've also seen people list one thing and get suspended. So there's no one answer. Do I ever change the time of the mastermind meeting calls? I'm going to do two. I'm going to try this tomorrow, Lindy. I'm going to do my mastermind call, this one in the morning at 6 a.m. Guys, come prepared tomorrow, okay? Actually have your goals. Have this stuff that I put in the chat in the screen. Have that ready tomorrow so we can actually get this done. I'm going to do two. One in the morning, 6 o'clock Pacific. One in the evening, 5 p.m. Pacific. Brandy's, what's up? Go pick up your little one. That's awesome. I really like the term little ones. It's really cool. That's smart. Okay, guys, Lindy just made a really good comment, which is she called eBay and had the brand ding removed because once you've been dinged, it's easier to get dinged in the future. I don't have any Vero complaints that have not been removed. I think I have one for Dansko clogs that they questioned the authenticity of it, so I removed it. I also had one for ostrich boots. Was it ostrich or elephant? I had some boots that had a questionable material that were removed, and eBay removed the defect. And they can do that sometimes. You don't want those defects lingering because they stack, and it makes it easier for you to get suspended. Best resale items to buy from thrift stores. Okay, here we go. You ready? Electronics. Vintage electronics are the top category in my opinion because most thrift stores will have a VCR, DVD recorder, stereo system, something that was big and bulky and somebody can't take with them. Those are usually around. Clothing is very profitable, but a lot of work. And there's a lot to look through. So if you don't know what you're doing, you may pick up a brand that's out of season. Good brand out of season still might not sell. So it requires a really keen eye. So I would say in the thrift store, there's tons and tons of items that you can buy for 10 or less and sell for 30. but you just have to really know what you're doing. It's really easy to spend $2 or $3 thousands of times and just have a whole bunch of stuff that you don't have listed. Be careful. eBay wants to avoid lawsuits. Yeah, they just want to be the middleman. How to boost sales when you're just getting started. Buy better. How to ship to Guam the cheapest way. Pirate ship, in my opinion. Yep, good answer. Thank you. What do I think about cosmetics? I personally don't use them, but I think that they are good to sell because they have insane profit margins. So, like, my friend works for Kylie Jenner's team, and they make something like $20 million profit every single time they launch something. He is on a team of like 200 people that work on her Shopify store. Cosmetics are insane because, like, here's the thing, like, one influencer says you gotta have it, all of a sudden tons of people gotta have it. So cosmetics is very cool. How do you sign up for the call? Okay. You can't. There's not going to be any calls. Actually, I don't know. This is making me wonder. Maybe I will do the calls. I want people to actually be prepared. I don't want to do the calls if you don't know the answer. I want to do the call and say, Lindy, what's your goal? And she's like, this week, I want to list 43 things on Tuesday and Thursday. Awesome. What's in your way? Oh, well, this week we have a recital, so I've got to work around that, but I'll get it done at this time. I'm also going to, do this type of thing for my diet, this type of thing for my exercise, this type of thing for my sleep. And I'm going to get these 43 things done and check back with you next week. That's what I want the calls to go like. I don't want people to not know. That's like bad for the whole group. So I don't know how to structure the calls so that everyone knows what they're doing every single time. I don't have time to police people. So I think I'm just going to do this $12 accountability program. And if you want to call Jeff, just schedule one with me. And in 45 minutes, let's just make this. At patreon.com/daily refinement, you can buy a 45-minute call and we'll do this whole thing together, one-on-one, and we'll work it out. And then just record it and do it. Yeah, smash the like button, everybody. Yes, I do international pirate ship. Even though there's a really good hip shipper deal, I still use pirate ship just because it's easier for me. Oh yeah, it's way cheaper. It's way cheaper, Lindy. Like it's like under $20 for most items internationally. I don't know why it's that much cheaper, but Pirate Ship is a game changer. They also will import listings from eBay. I ship domestic using Pirate Ship too. So just hook up your eBay account or multiple eBay accounts and just get that going. Yeah, eBay doesn't recommend the global shipping program. If you go talk to the shipping team, which I'm sure you have, Lindy, but here they don't recommend it because, like, obviously the post office is really good at shipping already. So just ship with them direct. Also, I know it's kind of scary if you're worried about the item being returned, but just, I don't know what to say. Like, there's a lady that sells jewelry in my group that her average sale price is like $200 and she has 10% returns. That's crazy. Can you imagine? She does $37,000 a month in sales and has $3,700 in returns. That's like a $200 kick in the nuts every single day. That's how there goes my monetization. Be careful of counterfeit in popular cosmetics. Agreed. Especially Kylie. She has ridiculous amounts of cosmetic fakes. Is pirate ship cheaper than printing labels on eBay? Sometimes. Is there a way to block shipping to Guam? Yeah, there is. Where do you sign up for the call service? Patreon.com/daily refinement. Also, I'll give you access to the sheet for the whole year if you do one call. The goal of this is to get everybody in here posting their goals so I can see that, because that's the part I'm most interested in. Also, there's got to be a way that I can help more than a few people at the same time, especially with this many people. Anyway, guys, I'm going to run. I got to go get some work done before tomorrow when I start this live recording thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream the whole thing, but I am for sure going to record the whole thing. I'm going to end this call by doing a Rubik's Cube while you guys let me know this first part of this, the 5-step resale plan. Let me know your goal for the week. Guys, put in the comment section below right now how much you want to make each month. I'll give you until I'm done with this Rubik's Cube to come up with that answer. I'll look at the comments while I'm doing it. I just, everybody wants to just hang out, but I really want you guys to do the work. Also, there's a really good YouTube channel called Learn Quick with Mike Boyd. And that's actually how I learned how to do a Rubik's Cube, because he learns how to do things in one day. And I was pretty shocked because he learned how to do a Rubik's Cube in about 13 hours blindfolded. So I'm like, if he can do a Rubik's Cube in 13 hours blindfolded, I should be able to learn how to do it with my eyes open. And I did. I learned how to do it in 3 hours after I watched his tutorial on Skillshare. I have that link in the description below because Skillshare is a sponsor of my channel. So you get 2 free months if you guys want to try it. But in there, I learned this system called the CFOP system. And after you learn the system, you can break down solving a Rubik's Cube into like 7 steps. And that's how I did reselling for you guys, which is the product research, sourcing, bookkeeping, accounting, photography, listing, shipping, maintenance, item improvement, and adjustments and maintenance. That is basically all the requirements to run a resale company. But to solve a Rubik's Cube, he broke it down into 4 steps. It's called the CFOP system. And it has worked for me. So the first thing you do is you solve the bottom, then you solve the top, then you solve the middle 2 layers. Let's see how close we are to getting this done. Once you solve the middle 2 layers, like right now, you guys can see the bottom 2 layers are solved. So now you just have to solve this top layer. Then there's like probably 11 or so sequences that you need to remember in order to do it. So there you go. That is the Rubik's Cube. It takes me probably 2 minutes to do it now. And I think after I do my listing procedure, which my plan is to do the Rubik's Cube 5 times and then list 40 items, that's what I want to record and live stream every day. I wish there was more secrets to it than just this plan, but there's not. I don't like when somebody put in the chat that these are good generic things, good general business principles. But please let me know in the chat what is missing from this tutorial. Like that is it. You don't need to watch any more YouTube videos. Okay, here we go. So 3,000 a week, 2,000 a week, 10,000 a week. Wow, that's a lot. 1,000 per month. Okay, good start. That's very reasonable. 1,000 per month. 1,500 per month. Nice, Jeff. Yes, that's awesome. So Jeff was saying he wanted to max out his 401k. That sounds like a max out 401k number to me. Post 70 items per week. That doesn't count. No item count. That's too lazy. Profit. 5K per week, nice. 500 per week, 2,000 profit per month, nice. Sell 10 items a day, not good enough. We need another profit per item. Post 100 items per day, not good enough. Your goal is to watch Chris do a Rubik's Cube. That's a horrible goal. Ali, thank you for watching my show and I love you, but that should not be your goal. List 40 items per week with an ASP of $35. Not good enough. We need to know the profit per item. Not doing the work. I know, right? Ty says it's stupid easy. It's just doing the work. Let's see here. 100K a week. Wow. Ty wins with the most ambitious goal. He wants 100K a week. That's banging. Love it. 300 Saturdays at the flea market. That's a fantastic, actionable goal. You can totally do that. $300 on the weekend. Holy crap. Yes, this is it. Finally, the biggest flea market in the Bay Area is this Sunday. Thank you for reminding me because I'm going to go. I'm going to have that same goal. $300 profit at the flea market. Let's go. $1,000 monthly. Nice. Replace your husband's income so he can retire. That's a great why, but we need a number. What's the number that he needs to retire? $6,000 a month makes you happy. Banging. You love my tutorials. Thank you. Oh, there we go. See, Lindy Glenn has a similar goal, the Hustle at Home Mom, which is $2,000 to $5,000 maintaining. I love that. The maintaining part. That's from a seasoned reseller. She doesn't just want to make $3,000 one time. She wants to make $3,000 throughout the whole year. I'd be curious what her YouTube goal is and her other projects. I don't know, but let's see. $3,000 a month reselling is very, very, very dope. I love it. So I don't know if Jeffrey's still listening. $2,000 to $5,000, I recommend, is your goal. That way you can fail your way to $1,500 a month and still max out your 401k. Make the plan to make $2,000 to $5,000 a month so that you can still be a C student and hit your goal. Working full time, so your time is limited. I agree. I agree, and I don't agree with the whatever the Gary V thing is. Work 9 to 5, then work from 6 to 2. That doesn't work. I don't know anyone who does that. What it looks like is you reduce the amount of bills you have so you can work a little bit less at work or not be as stressed out and keep some mental real estate. And probably I would say 20 hours a week max. Okay, it's not 6 to 2, 7 days a week. That's ridiculous. No one does that. $2,000 a week is 6 figures. Agreed. $500K a month with $40K net profit. Solid. How do you make money off of shipping? You don't. Shipping is not a profit center. You make your money when you buy the item. Is there a starter course? I have one. It's called the Reseller Field Guide. It's $35. You can buy it in the description below. Or you can email me at chris@dailyrefinement.com, or you can just learn what I said in this tutorial for free and not pay anything. $300 a week. Which flea market in the Bay Area? The one in Alameda. Let's go. Let's see. Thank you, admins, for blocking stuff. Let's see. All you want is $1,000 a month profit with 20 hours part-time. I really like that model. That's right on point. Mike Sherman has the idea. $1,000 extra a month with about 5 to 7 hours a week. That's amazing. One more plan for you guys. The guys that are still here, write this down. My friend Nick has a store. It's the username is MN Standard. I normally don't give out his username, but I'm going to right now. MN for Minnesota Standard. He does 100 items per week, 15 listings, 7 days a week. He nets $100,000 a year reselling on top of his 6-figure job. Right? That is a really, really, really special person to be able to pull that off. And think about how clear that is. 15 items listed every single day, 7 days a week. He just gets it done no matter what. He's a good dad, hangs out with his kids, doesn't resell when he gets home from work. He's with them till they go to bed. So you can do it. You just have to be really scheduled. And unfortunately, it's this plan. There's no secret. Yes, let me drop the link in here. I'll drop the link in here to make it easier. Okay, $35 code YouTube. If you guys want to buy it, there's my starter course. That really helps out the channel. I appreciate that, guys. You do listing in the AM and research in the PM. Awesome. $3,000 profit per month. Awesome. Yeah, come say hi to me if you see me when I'm out there. So far, you've made over $1,900 in the last 90 days. Awesome. Living frugal and having other ventures as well as Turo and Airbnb, just like us. I love that triple stack. Rental cars, rental properties, reselling. Let's see. Yo, big man. $1,000 a week. Oh, yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys want to buy me a cup of coffee, that's appreciated too. My PayPal is chris@dailyrefinement.com also. If you guys want to shoot me an email, ask me a question, buy me a cup of that's really nice. That's actually, I think that's the coolest way to ask a question. People don't really have time to have coffee with you, but you can send them a coffee and ask them a question. Currently, you would like to make between $400 and $1,000 per month. Awesome. You just set step number 1. Now learn the business, pick a niche, make a schedule, and do it. You don't know what to do at Patreon? Yes. Okay, I'll explain that, then I have to go. This program right here is for this document. It's $12 a month. You sign up at patreon.com/dailyrefinement, either for the 1-hour call, and I will guide you through this whole thing. You get the rest of the year for free. You can just come in the group, update your goals, or you can just do the goals yourself. I'll give you the link if you sign up for Patreon. Or if you don't want to pay anything, screenshot the screen right now. Go buy a 99-cent notebook and write down this stuff and just do it. That's it. All right, guys, I'm out. Take care.